My fellow gamers, welcome to the Billionaire Farm. We are here on Elm Creek standing in our fields. It is May of year 10 full years of trying to make $1 billion. You can see we got some nice fields filled with cotton. We have a good selection of tractors, some trailers, all the good stuff you need to be making money here on Farming Sim 22. With it being May here, we have a few things to get done. You can see cotton to my right, cotton to my left. It is growing very well. We have a few other fields off in the distance. They are growing oat, soon to be planted with grass as well once we get that harvested. But with it being May, it is close selling season. We do have a nice production chain for our cotton that is growing here once again. We own the spinnery to turn all of that cotton into fabric. And then we have the fabric sent right here to a tailor shop that makes a bunch of clothes. And I, being the lazy owner that I am, throw the boxes of clothes everywhere until we are at peak selling season. So because of that, it is time to take these clothes to the grocery store, which is the top seller here on Elm Creek of clothes, and that's who's buying, man. They buy them wholesale, and I am happy to provide. So we are beginning the day by making a bit of money. We are here driving in a nice gigantic Case tractor. It is the Case IH Magnum 400. It is a beefy boy. It is definitely over the top for doing something like towing some pallets. But hey, we got clothes. They need to be taken, and this guy can drive pretty fast for a tractor. We got a solid 41, almost 42,000 liters of these clothes, which is a very odd way to measure out clothes. But, you know, it's how it goes, and we're just here to sell, man. That's how they take them, and I'm more than happy to oblige. So look at that money going way up. Ooh, there you go. Okay, big sale. So look at that. We do have a bit of environmental score reward from precision farming. We keep our fields nice and natural, or natural as they can be. But that was a good, just around $800,000 in clothes. Oh baby, that is some juicy eats. So just from that alone, that is, you know, very close to $1 million. With that being done, there is another thing I would like to get done today. I think it is near about time we said goodbye to some old friends. We make a lot of money on this farm at this point. We got a lot of fields in our name, and I think it is time to just be getting rid of some of our old dusty equipment that we don't really use as much as we used to. So the Dutes Far here is hooked up. I am going to be getting rid of all three of these. So the front is a fertilizer spreader, the back is a forage wagon, and then obviously the Dutes Far itself, the tractor. A little bit of a sad time to be getting rid of all of these, but that is a-okay. We did buy the fertilizer spreader new, as well as the forage wagon on the back. The Dutes Far has been around for a very long time. You can see we've had it 108 months now. The only two things that were around longer than it were obviously the tank tractor with the class Axion. That was our very first tractor, and it's going to be very hard to get rid of that one. I didn't put all these working hours into it, but the Dutes Far does have nearly 100 working hours. In Farming Sim, that's a lot. In the real world, maybe not so much. Either way, say goodbye. Goodbye, old friends. Now with all three of those sold, we are down to just the 3 tractors, 2 of which I just bought in the past like 2 years. Now while I think the tank tractor here could definitely be replaced as well, I just don't know if I have the heart to get rid of it yet. We are going to need to replace the Dutes Far especially, so we'll probably be investing in a new tractor here very soon. If you've been watching the series for a while, I appreciate it a lot. I hope you're enjoying everything. One thing I've decided to do is maybe pick up the pace just a little bit, make these videos cover a little bit more. I'll definitely still have all of your favorite scenes of me driving around these big old implements and whatnot, but just wanted to give that little disclaimer as we go through things. And hey, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, buddy. I appreciate it. On to the rest of the video. You might have noticed my money jumped up quite a lot in the top right. It's because I've made a pretty bold decision I want to do here. So just in the last couple months or so, I actually bought the biogas plant and got it started up. That did cost $1.5 million, which is very expensive. However, I am thinking about actually upgrading this right now. The thing is, we actually produce quite a lot more silage than is being used here at the biogas plant. So while that's definitely a lot of money, this thing will pay itself off in about a year. So I think I'm actually going to sink some money into this. So yeah, let's do this. 1.6 milli down the drain. For the time being, though, I think that's enough money spending for one day. I got $75,000 to my name, a mountain of debt, but a ton of fields and great ways to make money. And speaking of which, we should probably just get right into making some of that money, huh? And actually harvesting stuff. All right, so just a couple months later here, July of year 10, nearly 6 a.m. in the morning, getting a very early start to the day. You can still hear the frogs are going in that pond nearby. Man, it is harvesting season for our oat fields, of which we have quite a few. It comes just in the nick of time because we're actually running a little empty on our productions. We ran out of our oats to be processed into flour, so the incoming supply to our bakery has stopped, but as you can see, they have more than enough to power through things. Now, the one other thing that did stop here is our silage production, which is very bad considering I just spent 1.6 million upgrading the biogas. However, we are going to be pumping that full of straw today, which we can make into silage. The other thing is the biogas still has 304,000 liters of silage to process through. But if you look at this, it can actually go through 400,000 liters a month now, which is really crazy. Luckily, we make quite a lot of it per year. But without further ado, I think it's time to get things started. The other thing is I didn't touch our finances at all. I didn't pay things back. I just left it is with a $3 million loan. And you can see just in a few months, we have $760,000 in our pockets. In terms of finances, like I said, yeah, $3 million loan. That is literally maxed out. You can see the borrow button here has been grayed out. Now, our property income is also quite high. I've added a few solar panels just around our farms, just as the months have gone. I'll probably do a little bit more of that. Obviously, we had our big close sale back in May for $811,000. June, that was just from the leftover clothes that were being sold off. Last month alone, though, without doing anything, just all natural income, passive income, we made $334,000. If that can be our monthly income, that's a very, very good month. Now, the one other decision I decided to make here is we do have this old class Axion. It has worked out pretty well for us, but I think in terms of our combines, we're just going to need bigger and better than it has been providing. So I'm actually going to get rid of this guy as well. Probably shocking. This has been kind of a clean out episode thus far. We're getting rid of a lot of old stuff, making way for that new stuff. Spending just a little bit of money. Most of it is coming through leases. I do have the lease to own mod, as I've mentioned. Basically allows you to make payments on any piece of vehicles that you want to buy. You can instead pay them off over the course of a few years. And yeah, that will be the last of the class Axion here, or the class Axion, excuse me. This is the class Tryon 720. It has done pretty well for us, but it is very old and worn down. So it has, it needs to go to a new home, a new little farm that can use it, and not my massive one where I'm gonna work this thing to death. So yeah, farewell to yet another old friend. Got a solid $63,000 from selling all that. I'll be using that to get a couple harvesters here, and we will be able to fly through our oat fields today, which you can see a little sneak preview of through that little gap right there. I've used this guy before, but we are going to be getting the John Deere X9 1100. Big capacity, lots of horsepower, the usual stuff you might expect. Couple custom configurations, but yeah, I'm actually going to get a couple of these guys leased out, and these are going to be like our new workforce. So we got the fleet lineup. I gave one of them tracks because, you know, why not? A little bit of fun. Got a couple of headers that have that nice, you know, self-built-in trailer action going on. And it is time to get harvesting here. The big boy harvesters, a couple of them, the kind of twins, but I like, you know, doing little things to differentiate them. In terms of fields that are ready to go, we have the Spike over here, our biggest field. Field 71, Oil Can Sheep Alley, which are also custom fields, and then Big Boy, which is actually our biggest field. I realize it's a little bit bigger than the Spike, but they are both very large. With two of these harvesters, we should be able to fly through these. We're also going to be forage harvesting, which is something I need to to think about here. I'm probably going to get another tractor leased out as well as another forage wagon just to get everything covered. But we'll get things harvesting and foraging and all that goodness. Said I was going to get some more tractors, and look at the lineup here. So this one right here is the Challenger 1050, very similar to the Vario that I already have by Fendt. I just like it. I like how it looks quite a lot. It's over 500 horsepower, so it'll work out really nicely. Very quick, goes up to 40 miles per hour. And then I did get another Case IH Magnum, which is the same one as the red one over there. However, went with a different color, the twin wheels. I kitted this one out just a little bit more. Should be a fun time. We just needed some new tractors, a little more horsepower going on. But yeah, a couple new additions here, man. Also picked up another forage wagon here, same as the other model of one that we have. But yeah, just a way to pick up that straw off them fields. Now just look at these two all set up ready to go for foraging. We have two fields being harvested right now, Big Boy and the Spike, and these two are going to have their work cut out for them today with these forage wagons getting loaded up on silage additive. We got to keep that biogas fed, and we are going to be doing it with this straw on the ground right here, man. We're making good progress out here. We are harvesting up. We got a guy offloading him over there with that nice trailer. That's the Vario. We have the new Challenger unloading the other one. But you can see there's already a lot of straw to be grabbed here, so I will likely just get going here. Lots to do on the day. All this straw is going down into our handy dandy fermenting silo down on what, the southern end? I don't know, on the far side of our farm over there. The oat itself is going on up to the grain mill, going to be made into bread. But we got a nice efficient operation going today. We are also going to be planting all of these fields with grass as well. Because of that, I do want to get these fields covered as quickly as possible, considering we are harvesting, foraging, and planting all in the same day. July is always our busiest month of the entire year. But yeah, lots to do, so I'll probably just get to it here. It is right about noon here in July of year 10. One harvester is actually done for the day. The second is currently working on Sheep Alley. We are mostly just foraging at this point. Because of that, it is time to get planting. We finally got Big Boy fully offloaded of all of its straw, as well as the Spike over here. I think I'll go ahead and just start with Big Boy, get the big old planter here, the air cart. This is going to be our bread and butter for many a future plant. With my rotation being oat and grass, this thing is just about perfect for that. And it having a giant capacity, giant working with, and everything else. Pretty nice. Now, one thing I've actually been thinking of adding to our little setup here, even though it is already extremely ridiculous how long this thing is a roller and mulcher. I have seen a couple like combo units that make a lot of sense. You can basically put different rollers on the roller itself and it'll mulch at the same time. Coolest one I've seen is right here called the Lizard Mega Roll 2430 multi-roller. It has a few different combinations you can do. It could just roll the field, a little bit extra, it'll do the grass rolling, so that will actually fertilize the grass, which is really nice. The other ones you can put on it are mulching rollers, so they will mulch while it rolls at the same time, which I think is very cool. It has a 24-meter work width, and it can actually attach on to some of our other implements. I might give this a try with the air cart setup, which is a ridiculously long setup, but hey, we got to give it a whirl, right? So here it is right here. I'm just going to go ahead and get it attached to the back of this air cart, and that might take a little bit of finagling, but we'll figure it out. All right, there it is, and look how ridiculous this setup is. I mean, this honestly might be too much for this car because it is dragging a little bit. Yeah, I might be overdoing it here. This might just be better used to do separate, which really isn't that big of a deal to do separate, especially if I can hook it up to some of our fertilizers or doing it at the same time. That would be a perfect time to do it. But let's see, I'll give it a little bit of a whirl, see how it goes. I think this might work pretty well with the cotton planter that we have as well. All right. Look at this thing. This is crazy. It is working. It is working. Maybe not exactly as intended. This is just a ridiculous setup. We're definitely not going to be able to go at full speed is the only problem here. So I'm not even sure if this is like that much faster. Come on, man. This thing, it looks so funny. Towards the end of July here in year 10, we have planting started on Big Boy. We did have that pretty funny mulching roller that I had. What I did not realize was that the upgrade I was using actually disabled the rolling and it was only mulching. So I actually decided to just get rid of that for the day. I didn't want it messing around with our planting process. Also was a little too slow, but we are hooking up the smaller planter we got here so we can help with the grass plants. We got many fields to plant today. You can see that guy over there doing a good job. Maybe a little bit missed, but whatever. So have the Kins Blue here. Just gonna fill it up and get planting as well. But we are wrapping things up. We're gonna be done very shortly with July. Just a little bit of foraging, a little bit of planting to end the day. You can see our 2 harvesters already back at the main camp there. They're gonna be ready to roll next year. We're not gonna need them, but I think we're gonna keep them around. Oh man, I forgot I have a bunch of seeds and a bunch of fertilizer here. We'll be grabbing the seeds at the very least, although this can't use the solid fertilizer, so that's a little awkward. The joys of dumping out some of those big fertilizer spreaders right there. But yeah, some good stuff. Maybe wasted a little bit of money on that mulching roller, but I wanted to give it a whirl, you know what I mean? Things are looking good though. Not too much left to do for the month. Don't have too much to sell in the next few months here. I think our main selling season really isn't going to hit until January or so, and it will probably be smaller than normal because so much of our silage is going towards the biogas these days. Some planting going on here. I don't know what those strips are, and we got planting here, and you know, just a little bit of foraging happening at the same time. Good times had all around. So still working on our planting here in July near about 1 p.m. in the afternoon. And one thing I did notice is we did actually hit yet another full silo over here. We've got the Kins Blue over there planting, which is very nice. But as you can see, we got a little bit of backup here in terms of the straw foraging. Just fully filled up here on the silo. It might be helpful to add a few more silos, which that's something maybe I'll move into, just putting some more around the map. So, you know, each big field can have its own silo. I've just kind of been avoiding it so I don't have a big long list of productions because it's pretty long as is, as you can see. But for now, this is fully filled up. We have 2.5 million liters of straw in there, which is really crazy. I'm going to get this boy upgraded though. I think that's going to involve taking out a little bit of money, which is a-okay. I have paid some of it back since maxing it out, you know, a month or two ago. So just took out the money and yeah, let's get this upgraded again. 150,000 is getting pretty crazy, but yeah, we need the room. We might even need to upgrade that again, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, they appear to be moving and grooving back there. So just a few more fields to forage here. Hopefully upgrading that again is going to be enough space. We just have such a huge influx of straw all at once. It is a bit unfortunate. I suppose I could use my trailers as extra storage if we need it, just for, you know, like a month or two while we process everything. I wish they had a bit higher capacity because I feel like we chunk through what we have so much quicker than we can like fill it up. But yeah, just heading on over here. Oh, and the other thing is I did decide to put a little fill up point right there as well. So honestly, I probably should have topped this guy up on seeds. But yeah, just taking Elm Creek over piece by piece. Got another radio tower and a little windmill put over here. As I said, I've been putting generators all over the map. Something I'm trying to move heavily towards. Whenever I end the month with a little bit of extra money, instead of paying back the loan, I have just been putting some generators down, and I think think one of these times I'm gonna buy a couple pieces of land and just cover them in generators. Like this guy right here. I mean, what am I supposed to do with this tiny little piece of land? It's only 6 acres and just little off pieces. Like maybe even just right here. You can't really do anything with this piece. It has a house on it right there. This is probably just gonna be like a wind farm or a solar farm. Once I have just the spare money for it, I'll probably end up doing that just so I'm not completely surrounded by solar panels on my fields. But yeah, that's the plan. We're gonna get this bad boy planted right here. Got 1 or 2 more fields to plant is all, but I believe I will be seeing you all in the next harvest season. Here we are now, October of year 10. It is just before 8 a.m. in the morning. We have quite a bit of harvesting to do today. We have, what, 3 fields of cotton, and the rest of them are covered in the grass that we planted earlier in the summer. I'm backing up to put the front mower on the back like an idiot. I don't know how much longer the tank tractor is gonna be with us, but for now, he's here, he's doing his thing, and yeah, he'll be mowing today. So I take out a street sign yet again. Don't currently have a cotton harvester. That is one that I turned in this last year, so I will get one leased out again, as well as a way to move those bales around. We have those little like notches from where the air cart missed, but that's no big deal. This is in stage 2, as you can see, nice and yellow. Should give us a absolute ton of grass. We already got these boys ready to go as soon as we need to pick up the grass off the field. I'll get them started as soon as mowing is done on the bigger fields. They got their work cut out for them today, but we will get it all taken care of. They're hanging out next to the sheep over here. Used it the year prior, but we are going to get the John Deere CS770. I was pretty happy with it. Did have 1 or 2 small issues with the header, but we'll see how it turns out this year. Here it is, though. A pretty nice big harvester here. We've used it before, as I said, but still pretty exciting. Gonna get harvesting with this thing ASAP so we can get those bales loaded up. We don't have any planting to do today. We don't need to worry about that. Grass won't grow in time on these cotton fields anyway, so they will just be planted. I believe it's in February we plant these. I got a nice hired hand over there in the harvester to start at least. Almost left with the old tank tractor here before actually getting the mowers hooked up. That is not good. So while the biogas was upgraded yet again earlier this year, we just make so much silage that we are able to still have it back up in the silo. Obviously at a much slower pace than normal, but probably means we could do with upgrading the biogas again, which is a pretty wild thought on its own. Driving through our alley of sheeps here, you can see we got a lot of wool backed up at this point. I haven't taken it up in quite a long time. It's probably due for one of those. Only really need to do that maybe once a year, maybe even every other year. I'm not sure. It processes very quick at the spinnery as well. We have it very upgraded, so that's always been pretty nice too. Have Big Boy at the very least to the point where I can probably get forage harvesting started. It's been fun recently with the series, just getting everything really upgraded. Feel like we've made a lot of strides recently to get machinery replaced and upgraded in a good way. It's made everything go a lot faster. Even with these giant pieces of equipment, these fields can still take a long time. I mean, look how big this thing is, and we could probably deal with even more land than I already have. So I think I'll probably be expanding this, kind of off season before we get planting again. Making good progress on our cotton harvest here. Already got a bale. Another one should be on its way soon. We usually get at least a couple bales out of this field. Definitely been the season for change. We have gotten a lot of things that are brand new, and obviously just replaced a lot of stuff. Figure I might as well grab the wool while we have a lot of people working. So I have 2 forage harvesters out. I have the cotton harvester going, and obviously the 2 mowers mowing. I'll get a bale loader with this, which is the Vario. I'll get that grabbed here soon, but figure might as well clear out this wool while I have a sec. There's a part of me that wants to expand out animals, but I just feel like money has been better spent going other places recently. Got our classic, very, very messy trailer full of wool here. Just under 100,000 liters of wool here. 95,000 liters, that's pretty good. We got our buddy, one of the forage harvesters, picking up grass off Big Boy. He's making a delivery. Everybody moving, everybody grooving. It's an efficient operation as always. I anticipate we're going to get the spinnery backed up a lot again. I have upgraded it a few times since the last time we harvested cotton, but even still, it always seems to back up. We just make so much of it. Part of me that wants to build another spinnery a little closer to our farm, just because this one's kind of far away and also difficult to get into. Very compact little space up here. It's nothing impossible, but yeah, you know, as we expand, maybe that's something I will do, especially because it involves backing things in, and I'm very good at that, obviously, as I turn the corner and deliver this in like the least efficient way possible. Hey, it's getting in there, isn't it? Look at that. I think there's any chance this will stay. I just don't know how people back things up with these trailers, man. They are so squirrely. I wonder if the AI can do it, because I do have it set up to the where they can back things up. It is fun to watch sometimes, I have to admit. So they will pull up here, and they are so good at backing these things up. It is ridiculous. I just can't do it. I literally can't do it. They're so perfect at it. Silky smooth. Look at that. I keep it so straightened. I could never do it. Good little thing here. Obviously, I got some stuff going on. The one problem of doing forage harvesting the same time as mowing is they tend to run into each other a lot. So I'll take care of that. We'll get some more of this harvesting done. Normal stuff, you know. Finished up with this field over here of cotton. You can see those weird little, I don't know, like just random lines of cotton. And I'm wondering if there's just something kind of weird about this harvester. It is from a mod, so I'm wondering if maybe it's just not set up super well. It is unfortunate because I like how nice and big the header is, especially, but if it just has so many problems like this, I might end up just pivoting off of it and not, you know, fully buying this thing. I'll run it out for the rest of the day and see how we're looking. If it continues to have issues, I'll just ditch it, and it's no big deal. I do like using it though, gotta admit. Mowing has progressed to some of the later fields. I think that courseplay alert in the top right is actually another mower that I need to get moved to a different field. Everything's going pretty swimmingly. Just one field left of cotton, and it is definitely our biggest one. Out here in the field driving this thing myself, and you can see even when I'm driving, it has a tendency to miss a little bit. I'm wondering if the width on the header is like not quite right or something, or it takes a sec to set up, because sometimes it just doesn't register and leaves stuff on the field. So might be our last year using this guy. I'll have to see. The less I have to babysit something, even if it takes a little bit longer, it's very nice. Just when I'm doing everything at this scale, man, things have to be easy. Like even right there, man, it was going right through the header, but it just didn't register. One other thing I've been thinking about doing in the next, like, I don't know, year or two is might do a slightly different style of silage and maybe look into the forage harvester. I've really never used it before, but I have been reading up on it. Corn seems to be really good for forage harvesting. It just can, you know, chop it all up and turn it into silage. So much so that one harvest of your corn is going to be worth 3 harvests of grass on a given field. With that being the case, that's a lot less work. It means I wouldn't have to rotate between oat and grass. And while that rotation definitely gives us a lot of money, it's also very time consuming. I'm kind of thinking as I move further and further along, it would be nice to be slightly more hands off and not have to do that rotation. I definitely like doing the oat into flour into bread, and obviously have sunk a lot of money into that process. But as I move forward, I have never seen as big a gains as I have just by getting the biogas plant. It is just crazy. The amount of money you can get just from silage pumping into that thing is wild. To the point where I almost want to look into cows as well. Get, you know, creating manure, slurry, all that sort of stuff, just to keep feeding the biogas even more. Those are a little more more hands-on, you know, planting a big field of corn and just turning it all into silage seems really, really easy to me, and we wouldn't even need to flip the field after that. Just thinking about it moving forward. I like changing things up every once in a while as well. Obviously here in the field myself, harvesting this all with this this combine having a little bit of issues. I mean, look at that rightmost crop. It's going right through the header. Anyway, I've probably complained enough about this. It is alright. It's just a mod, man. Sometimes they don't work the way you want them to. I'll get this taken care of. Probably catch up with you boys later. Still here in October of year 10. Just finished up our mowing. I think maybe there's a little bit left on the spike, but this guy is most definitely done for the day. We are still picking up some of that cotton. That harvester's been having issues all day. I was leasing it with the idea that I was going to extend and pay for that eventually, but I think I'm just going to turn that back in pretty much as soon as this day is done. I'll look into other options for cotton. There are just way more painless, less handholdy options than that guy, so I will be doing that. Regardless though, we are getting there, still making a lot of money, so I can't complain too much. Fields are looking good, as you can see. Decent amount of bales to be picked up, so we will go get that nice bale loader that can hold about 5 of the round bales all at once. Got us our bale loader here. Now we just got to grab the bales, man. Always a favorite of mine to do. Just looking over there at those clothes, we already have a little bit of a backup, which is kind of crazy. I did not think that would happen so quick, but hey, here we are. Just wanted to say, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you aren't yet subscribed, please consider doing so. A lot more farming sim content on the way. This one goes out to all my billionaires out there, or lack thereof. See y'all in the next one.